feel free to comment down below what you want to carry, what you're starting to implement in your 2023. Please, let's make realistic goals. We're not here to say lose 20 kgs. Come on, like if we know we can't do that, let's just not do that. I also have such things, but you know, a more realistic one. Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you're doing great and in the best of health. As you can see from the title above, here I am to talk to you about 2022, how it was, what I learned, what I'm carrying with me in 2023, inshallah, what I would like to implement in 2023, all of that jazz. I do this almost every single year, so I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to have made it this far. And so if you're watching this, I'm happy that you're here as well. If you are new here, kindly subscribe down below, hit the bell button to be notified every single time I upload a video. I'd like to start with how I began 2022. 1st January 2022, I came on here and I told you some of the things that I'd like to water for my ear, some of the things that I'd like to work on, and some of the like themes and just things that I really want to carry with me 2022, and some of the things I'm going to mention here. The first one being peace. I wanted this to be a peaceful year for me, and alhamdulillah, I can't say it wasn't peaceful. I remember coming on here saying how 2021 was crap, and I am so happy and glad and grateful to come on here now at the end of this year and saying 2022 was not as crappy as 2021. Thankfully, this was a very peaceful year for me. In as much as, of course, there's always those iffy moments, which will always be there. But alhamdulillah, for the most part, it was amazing. The other thing was being intentional. I can proudly say that I was very intentional this year, alhamdulillah. In all aspects, I tried to listen more, I tried to be more present in all my relationships, in all my exchanges with people, in all my experiences. Whatever it is I experienced, I was trying to be intentional, and I was. Alhamdulillah, that went great. The other thing was mental. Yeah, I said I'm going to try to be, you know, in a better place mentally, which I can say I did for the most part. Of course, as I said, there was always going to be those iffy moments, but you know, that one we can still carry with us for the next year and still work on our mental space. And I hope, if you're listening to me, I hope you're also working on your mental space, in as much as physical health and all of that is very important. Everything that's in here is just as important. So I really hope you're working on that and towards that, being in a good place, you know. The last thing I said I would work on was empathy. And I have been empathetic this year. Sometimes I've felt like, okay, isn't that a bit much? But I've tried to like listen to people and trying to figure out where they're coming from, and just, you know, having more grace. And I carried that with me throughout the year, so I'm very happy about that. So wrapping 2022 up, I want to talk about what I want to leave behind before I go on to the things I want to continue implementing. And one of the things that I really would like to leave behind 2022 is pessimism. I can't even say the word right because it's just a very bad thing, to be honest. I have caught myself in certain moments where I've been like, that's a bit pessimistic. You're not supposed to think like that. In terms of life, how I view life, in terms of just negative self-talk, I have been guilty of that a number of times, actually a lot of times. And that's something I really want to leave behind. Hopefully, inshallah, I'm leaving that. I don't want negativity around my life generally. And so I need to drop it like right now. Granted, it's not something I'm dropping just because we're entering a new year. It's something that I've been working on, and we're leaving that behind. The other thing we're leaving behind is procrastination. My God, these words I can't even pronounce because, you know. But procrastination is just one of those things that I'm like very good at, but also I need to like be bad at. I need to be bad at procrastinating because I procrastinate through life every single day. I'm always like, I will do it later, we'll do it later. Sometimes we do it later and sometimes we don't. And we need to leave that behind for sure. The last thing I want to leave behind, which is, these are major things I want to leave behind. Granted, there's more things I'd like to leave behind, but you know, I don't want to bore you with my things. But the last thing I want to leave behind is fear of failure. When I say fear of failure, that's something I've always carried with me. But granted, I've seen it more this year because there's been moments where I'm like, I want to do this, and then I'm like, nah, maybe it's gonna fail, maybe it's gonna fail. And I mean, this is one of those things like YouTube. I'm always like, what if it doesn't work out? What if this? What if that? But it's like, we're leaving fear of failure behind. We're just doing what we really want to do. We're doing what we've always said we'll do. We are not procrastinating. We are not being fearful of all the external noises, all the internal noises. We are just leaving that behind completely. Let's go on to things that we're carrying with us and things that we want to start implementing, or rather I want to start implementing. The reason I share these kind of things with you guys is because I want to be accountable. I want to look back and be like, you know what, I said I'm going to do that, so I best do that. And not that if I don't say it on here, I'm not going to do it, but it's just, you know, I just love sharing with you guys. And I want to be accountable, obviously. And I want you to also be accountable in case these are things that you want to like take account on and like work on in your own life. So that's why we're here. So we share these things. By the way, you can share down below what you want to start implementing, what you're leaving in 2022, because this chapter is finishing. So comment down below what you want to leave, what you want to start implementing, what you're carrying with you, all of that good stuff. Just type them down there. So what are we carrying and starting to implement in our next year? My first one that I want to carry with me and implement more in my next year is recognizing how and when I'm struggling mentally and how to cope. I've had moments where I was just struggling for like a week or two, and I'm like, where's this all coming from? But I'd never figured it out. And then there's some weeks where I'm like, no, we need to like recognize where this is coming from and how we can get past it. And I want to be more intentional in that aspect in my next year, inshallah. I feel like we really need to sit down and think, why am I feeling like this? What's this I'm feeling, first of all? And why is it I'm feeling this way? What triggered me? Why this and this? How can I deal with this? I feel like that's very important, and I'm very big on mental health. I mean, if you know me personally, you know that's all I talk about just up here. So that's a big thing, and we need to like start with that. All of us. That's not just for me, it's all of us. The second thing I want to do more, I can't say I did it, to be honest. So the second thing I want to implement in this coming year, inshallah, is taking care of my body. Because child, the crap I've been eating this year, the crap I've been eating, it's not even funny. It's very unhealthy and very serious and problematic. I really need to start taking care of my body more, being intentional on that. And I feel like that's not just me. You know you're guilty of this too, how you just dazzle your way into those fries and burgers and whatever. We're not doing that. We're not. Granted, 1 or 2 times is, you can get a pass on that, but we're being more intentional on what we eat, on what we do, and how we exercise, and all of that. We're taking care of our body just as much as we're taking care of our mental state. The other thing I want to carry with me and implement more on my 2023 is serving. What I mean when I say serving more is serving people more, serving environment more, serving, let me give examples, yeah? Leaving a place cleaner than you found it, leaving people happier than you found them, leaving people more peaceful than you found them. I want to serve in that aspect, and that's for me and for people, because if I'm being honest, if I feel like I have left you happier or more peaceful or just in a better mood, that it literally lights my heart up. and of course it makes you feel better as well. So I want to do more of that, more of serving, and not just being a self-centered person, but just being intentional on, like, you know what, I need to work on this one's mood right now. Not taking it on like, you know, battle, but at least trying to just, you know, brighten up people's day. My next thing is I'm gonna set a realistic goal for this year. I set realistic goals for this year as well, 2022, but I'm gonna set more realistic goals for 2023 and actually do them and live by them. Not just set goals just to, you know, yeah, new year, new me, but let's just set goals and we're never gonna look at that piece of paper again. We're not gonna think of those things ever again. It's like, no, we are literally making the goals and implementing them on our daily lives. My next thing is having open hands. What I mean by this one I'm carrying, I'm not starting to implement. I have implemented it in my 2022 and it has helped me a whole lot. And what I mean by having an open hand is basically giving more, because in turn you receive more. Like that one is just a beautiful thing that I learned. Like, if you give more, whatever it is, give whatever you're capable of giving. Whatever you give, you will receive. Whatever you give, you will receive. Granted, not the same thing, but the more you give, the more you receive. So just having that open hand at all times, take and also give, you know, that one is just beautiful. And you're not giving just so you can get, but it's just a beautiful philosophy of like how that life thing works. Like, the more you give, the more you receive. So we're definitely taking that with us. The other thing which I'm taking and carrying with me is being present. As I said, I try my best to be very intentional, be present, and I'm definitely carrying that with me for sure. Because I realized I was never like this, but I am very intentional being present, and I do literally intentionally listen to people. If you're talking to me, I'm no longer just nodding and brushing it off. I'm literally stopping what I'm doing and listening and nodding and responding where I need to, and just making sure that you know that I'm listening to you, because I am. And before this, I was never doing that. I was just like, yeah. But now I'm just being more intentional in that. Just pausing everything and just paying attention to people or to things or to my environment. All this just comes in with just being present. So yeah, I think that's some of the things that I want to carry with me or start implementing in my 2023, inshallah. Feel free to comment down below what you want to carry, what you're starting to implement in your 2023. Please, let's make realistic goals. We're not here to say lose 20 kgs. Come on, like, if we know we can't do that, let's just not do that. I also have such things, but you know, a more realistic one. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed being here. It's been a minute, but I'm so glad that you got to watch this video. So thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Again, if you're new here, kindly subscribe. It really helps me a lot. Share this video with your friends. I feel like we all want to implement stuff, carry stuff with us, leave stuff, of course, for sure. Share this video with your friends. So like, comment, all of that good stuff. Please do that. And I'll see you guys in my next video, inshallah. Bye.